right, finally back with another travel rod review. Today I'm going to review the Bone Voyage travel rods. I've got right here the case that my rod comes in. It's the Bone Voyage Papuan Black Bass Special, Big Bait Special, extra, extra, extra heavy. This particular rod is 6'8", which is about as short as I want to go on any of these travel rods for my liking. Most of the time I like a rod a little bit longer, from 7 foot to 7'6", but for this one, I got this rod for fishing for black bass. Here's the handle section right here. Went on a trip to Indonesia last year for black bass, and black bass have got a fame around them that they're some of the toughest freshwater fish that swim. You know, known for really going for heavy cover, and you need a tough rod to be able to pull them out from all the snags and stuff that they live around. So I wanted to make sure that going all that way, I picked up a rod that was up for the challenge. So what better way to do it than to get a rod that's specially made just for them. So before I went on that trip, I ordered this bone rod from my buddy Scott Nelson. You can look him up at scottnelsonfishing.com. He's a really good resource for a bunch of the tough to get travel rods like Bone, like Dran Crazy, like Fishman, all that stuff. You might even have a couple others that I'm forgetting, but really good resource when you're going on these trips and you want to get a travel rod. I still see some guys traveling with the big long bazooka cases with rods in them, and it's just, I've talked about it in my other travel rod videos, total pain in the butt bringing those big bazooka cases. You got to pay for the extra bag. You got to worry about them losing that extra bag because usually it's oversized. It just total pain in the butt. But these things, I mean, that's the case right there. It fits completely inside your suitcase, or you can cut a PVC pipe tube and make your own special rod case, 4-piece rod like that. You can have it fit multiple rods inside of a small PVC pipe tube and then put that in your case, or even carry it on the plane with you. So back to this particular rod. This extra heavy rod, 6'8". It's rated for lures from ½ ounce all the way up to just under 5 ounces. So that's 14 grams to 140 grams. So for the Papuan black bass, for the most part, you don't really have to use huge lures for them, but they are a super strong fish. You're using, you know, little stick baits and stuff like that, poppers, walk the dog lures, kind of anywhere from 3.5 to I guess probably maximum 6 inches long. You can try some rubber baits for them, but generally that's it. So you don't really need something that's chucking big, heavy, giant lures like you would for muskie, but you do need something that's super strong. So one of the ways that they made the rod super strong is Toray carbon fiber. So that's what the main component of the blank is Toray carbon fiber. On this butt section, you've got multiple wraps on the butt, cross-wrapped carbon fiber Toray. So you can see kind of like a funky pattern on there, and that's what that is. It's kind of reinforced on the blank, and then the rest of it, I guess, is individually wrapped carbon fiber. Just looking at my rod, there's some scratches on this one. I was wondering what the heck that was from. Some stuff on there. Anyway, yeah, it's heavily lacquered, kind of reinforced. Everything's super heavy duty for these fish. You know, I've talked to guys that have fished for them before, and you know, they took their big musky rods there and just got manhandled and beat up and shredded and stuff. So this one on the trip, it stood up to the test, and I just wanted to say that it's really good. It's a good option for that trip. In fact, it might even be the best option. I do have some Ironman travel rods, and I did take I think it's the blue Ironman Throne, which is not the heaviest. It's not the extra heavy. It's just it might be the extra heavy and not the extra heavy. And that's what's my spare rod on the trip, and the one that a friend of mine used on the trip, and that worked fine as well. But this rod, it's a really good one. It's super lightweight. It only weighs 154 grams, so just over 5 ounces. So if you're casting all day for these things, which you're casting a lot for these things, so you don't want to be casting a great big heavy rod and wearing yourself out throwing it. So this rod, Beautiful rod when it's all rigged up. I'm going to rig it up right now so you guys can see it. It's a 4-piece, 6/8, like I said. With the 6/8 rod, it's still long enough to kind of control the fish right around the boat, which I like. But when you're fishing for the spot-tail bass and the Papua black bass, generally the river that you're fishing on is kind of a small creek. Like for most of the fishing trip, you could cast all the way across the river that we were fishing on. So there's the reel seat, Fuji reel seat. We've got a new locking mechanism from previous models. It's really good. Didn't have it come loose at all on the trip. Fuji stick guides. Really cool finish on there. Beautiful, beautiful rod. Got camo EVA foam handle. You can see kind of a black-gray camo. So kind of the motif is kind of all black and gray, which looks pretty cool. I've got a black reel that I've got it matched up with, and it kind of matches. You can see the Voyage logo right there. Papuan Big Bait Special. And there's the ratings for it. You can see, I'm not sure if that's coming in. There. Anyway, what I was saying with the little bit shorter rod, you don't really need a super long rod because the river itself that you're fishing in is not that big. But you do need a powerful rod to be able to yank the fish away from snags and kind of keep them away from all that stuff. So you need some power to be able to do that. So the rod looks really pretty, looks really cool. The cost, the rod, it's kind of expensive. It's on the higher end of the rods that travel rods that I bought. I think it retails for around $320, $350, something like that. And the thing with the bone rods are they don't have huge numbers of them on the site, kind of a low number of models, so they can be kind of hard to get. So I was lucky to get my hands on this guy, but they are a really good option for peacocks, black bass, wolffish, all that different stuff. And if you're fishing on one of the smaller rivers there in the Amazon, also I could recommend one of these rods for sure for that application as well. How did it perform on the trip? I think it performed great. Performed really well. Biggest fish that I caught, didn't get a really big black bass, but I caught a pretty nice sized spot-tail bass around, I don't know, 15, 16 pounds. I'll probably use that picture in the thumbnail of the video. The handle on this rod, one of the things that I don't love this handle with the small trigger. One of the other bone rod that I have has a little bit bigger trigger, more of the bass or musky style triggers or whatever, where it's a little bit bigger trigger. That for my hand, I think is a little bit more comfortable for me. But I mean, if you have smaller hands or whatever, maybe that small trigger is just exactly what you want. But yeah, if there's one complaint that I had about it, it's that. It's got a really nice stiff butt section, and then it does have a little bit of flex in the tip section, which is nice. It helps kind of fling the lures out there. Overall, I'd say this rod is definitely worth a pickup if you're going to go fish for black bass or spot-tail bass or peacock bass, wolffish, even tarpon. If you're going backcountry tarpon fishing or anything like that, it'd be perfect. So overall, my review of the Bone Voyage rod, pretty good. Definitely liked it. I would definitely purchase it again if I had to. The rod also does have, I'm pretty sure, a 2-year warranty. And if you do lose or break one of the sections, you can order other sections. The thing about that though is it can take some time to order one of the sections. I'll talk about that in another video. I'm going to review another bone rod, the first bone rod that I got, and I'll tell a story about that. So yeah, that was my review of the Bone Voyage Papua Bass X Big Bait Special Expedition Series. Extra, extra, extra heavy. There it is.